broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network.
Welcome to episode 135 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Chick Challant, and this is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Well, just a few announcements before we get going. Attention Chicagoland listeners, there is a event in Waterman, Illinois, a bullpup shoot. That's right, a bullpup shoot in Waterman, Illinois, September 27th, and we hope to see you there. Several of the Firearms Radio Network personalities will be there, and I think we're doing a little giveaway. We're at least giving away some stickers and stuff like that, but better yet, you can come to the event to shoot guns, shoot bullpup, shoot. I think there's going to be like full autos that you can pay to shoot, and there's even going to be a zombie shoot event that I think you can shoot with your own competition rig, from what I understand. So check it out, bullpupshoot.com, September 27th. This is in Waterman, Illinois, so it's about half hour to an hour and a half from most of the Chicago suburbs, so check it out. And also another event, Jack Templin and Carol Fat to Fit HQ are doing a Tough Mudder here, or not here, but in Dallas on October 4th. So Dallas, Texas, listeners, Fat to Fit HQ and the Gunrunner team are doing a Tough Mudder. So yeah, they'd love to see you there. I think they may be doing a meetup on that Friday too. Carol is trying to arrange something there, so if you're interested, check it out. Contact Carol over at carol@fattofithq.com. Don't forget, you can also contribute to the Firearms Radio Network by shopping Amazon. So before your next Amazon shopping spree, click the banners on any of our websites, gunguyradio.com or firearmsradio.tv, and it helps us out a little bit, and I really appreciate it. So let's take a little break here, and this week, Steve Remy, our senior law enforcement producer, interviewed Joshua Waldron, the CEO of Silencerco, and they talked about Silencerco's history, how the company got going, and also their new Salvo 12 shotgun suppressor. So really an awesome interview. Big thank you to Joshua coming on the show, and for Steve for conducting this interview. So we'll be right back in a moment with Steve.
All right, welcome back. We are here talking with Joshua Waldron, the CEO of Silencerco. How are you doing today, Joshua?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. Hey, give our listeners a little bit of background about your personal life and kind of how you've gotten to where you are today with Silencerco.
Sure, yeah. I started my career as a photographer in about 1998, and went from just doing the wedding scene and things like that into very quickly getting into editorial commercial photography. So within a few years, I was shooting for Newsweek and some big business magazines, Fortune, Forbes, things like that. And really shooting for so many business magazines, it started getting me really interested more as in being in the corporate world rather than in the art world. And I started looking at things, differently, asking a lot of questions and things like that. So, when I got into kind of the mid-2000s, 2005, 2006, I started to kind of get burned out, the whole photography thing and the art world. And I started doing some deals, some commercial real estate development deals and things like that. In the process of looking for other things, my longtime high school buddy, who's my business partner now, he was building a recording studio, and I invested in that studio, and that studio became very successful. And and it was ran for a few years. And both of us at that time were, after the success of that and some of the other things that we were doing, we started looking for something more significant. And during our lives, we were very much into guns and into suppressors and we liked the whole black gun thing, and all of our spare time was spent out in the Utah desert shooting, and we really liked suppressors, but the suppressors that we owned were not really all that good. I mean, we owned a few of them from a few different of our now competitors. And any of the problems that we had with those, we would call and try to get them fixed, and the customer service was really bad, and the marketing materials were really antiquated, and the technology was outdated, and it was just really kind of a letdown. And we called it stamp regret. Basically, you pay that money, you wait that time, and get something that you really can't get rid of. There's no secondary market for it really, and it sucked. And so we started saying, this is a really obscure market. We could probably grow the market, but really what we could do is, even if we didn't have if we brought no technology to the table and just basically did Me Too products, but what we banked on would be, customer service and marketing, I felt like we could really just take over the market. And so we kind of wrote a business plan around those types of concepts, and we knew that we could probably make some pretty good silencers. But we had no idea that we would be earth-shattering in our industry, and bring to light all of this technology. So we really found it after the introduction of the Sparrow. We really founded our company on the three, the education and marketing aspects of things: the customer service, the innovation, and we've really been able to take over the market with those key things. So
okay, was your business partner? Does he have any sort of engineering background? It sounds like you didn't. Is that something that he had with him, or is that something you guys built into your business plan? That's something you'd need to focus on to get some top-notch engineers.
He was a sound engineer at the recording studio, and during that process, he got into all these bands and musicians would come in and they'd record and get these CDs, and he started to realize that none of them really had good websites, so he started offering web design service, and that really got him excited about like the programming world, and he really dove headfirst into programming and coding, and he's extremely well versed and fluent in like 7 different programming languages now.
Wow.
To the point where he can outcode anybody I've ever seen. So besides that, he was always an inventor, hobbyist inventor, and he had a small machine shop in his garage, and he did gunsmithing on the side and all that kind of stuff. So he was already in that type of deal, and he had a real passion for CNC machines and things like that. So it was an easy transition for him to be our lead engineer. And he's just brilliant, though. Like, for example, we as we were growing and needed a system in place to manage our inventory and our production management, all that kind of stuff. And he developed several million lines of code for our ERP, MRP, inventory management, and capacity planning and all of that kind of stuff. It's just a full-on system. Our system talks to basically does all of our forming for us for the HEF, and it's just really impressive what he can, when he puts his mind to it. He hyper-focuses, and he can really do anything, which is why we've been able to solve so many problems that no suppressor companies have been able to solve. So it's definitely one of our competitive advantages.
Well, it sounds like between the two, you guys have a good mix of art and science, which is I'm sure, what's gotten you guys to where you're at today.
Yeah, it's fun to come from different backgrounds than the rest of the gun world. We've got so many ex-military, ex-cop, ex-this, that, but really, the corporate world, with the exception of some companies, obviously, there's some corporate people that are running gun companies, but we really have an advantage over our competitors because we come from different backgrounds, and we have such a wide range of knowledge and skill sets that I don't feel like anybody really else has in the industry. So
yeah, certainly sounds like it brings a different perspective to a place that's filled with the same perspective, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So when did Silencerco open its doors, or at what point did you guys decide, we could really make a big business out of this?
Yeah, so, we formed the company in 2008, and it took, several months for us to get our licensing in place just before we could even start to develop anything. And we finally got everything, we got a building and raised a small amount of capital to be able to buy a machine and start doing our machining in-house and all that kind of stuff about August of 2008. And we were just heavy in R&D all that year, all the rest of that year, to launch the Sparrow in January of 2009. And that was a very fun experience because, we developed this awesome product that basically, allowed you to clean a 22 silencer without, having to worry about your round count so much. We could, you'd shoot a couple thousand rounds and still be able to get it open for cleaning very easily. And it was really quiet, and it was a really good product. And we were really excited about this, and we got the patents in place, and I went out and started pushing it. And I would get on an airplane, fly to every legal state for suppressor ownership, and rent a car, drive around, go into dealers. If they didn't have a range, I would go to Home Depot and buy a bucket and fill it with sand, and I would literally shoot the product right in their showroom. So, which is totally, I know, not the smartest thing to do. But what it did is it made believers very quickly, and every place that I went into wrote orders, and we had this accelerated, exciting market penetration that it was, we thought maybe we would sell a couple hundred suppressors that year, and we ended up selling nearly 1,000 the first year of just one product, and it was a big win for us. And, then in 2009, in about the middle of the year, we started developing the Osprey, and we launched that to January of 2010, and that, same thing. It was just the first commercially available eccentric silencer that was hearing safe for 45, and it had all of these features that nobody else had, and it looked cool, and it just explosive growth. And we signed a 2-year lease in that first building that we had. It was just this teeny little garage. We ended up having to break the lease and move into our now facility that we're in, and then since then we've doubled the space. So we have 72,000 square feet now of manufacturing space, and we're filling that up, to the point where we're starting to look at the land that's next to us to expand again. So the growth has been just unbelievable.
Wow. So was it kind of the point with the Osprey where you realized that, or maybe thought to yourself, wow, I never thought we would get to this point, that kind of the growth that you experienced after the Osprey? Because it sounds like you guys are just continuing to exponentially grow. Yeah,
it was one of those, oh my gosh, I can't believe, we sold, that year, I think we broke $1 million in revenue that year. And we were just like, holy cow, I thought this was just going to be this small company that we were going to have like a couple employees and a decent paycheck, but I didn't, it was starting to turn so much faster than I thought. And we started to look at things very differently. And we started thinking about years in the future, about, market expansion, about education and mainstreaming suppressors. And we started thinking about all of these things that, like, it was more of a dream previous, and now it was like becoming a reality, and we needed to understand how to embrace the the rapid growth and without going bankrupt in the process. So, we started to, and we had the realization if we come out with a rifle product that's not cool, it's not like industry disruptive like our previous two products, the Osprey and the Sparrow, then, that could doom us, because now people expect just perfection. They expect these industry disruptive products that are extremely innovative. And if we just came out with a Me Too suppressor at that point, it would sink our company. And so that's when we started thinking, wow, we don't have any knowledge of rifle silencers at all. It's a completely different game. The high heat, the temperatures, the pressures, all of that kind of stuff. And that's when we started looking to buy a company that already did that, and which is why we acquired SWR. SWR also had the leading 22 silencer and the leading, it was number 2 the 22 product. Ours, the Sparrow, was number 1 at that time. And then their 9mm product, that was a subgun can also, was leading the industry. And so we were like, well, if we buy this company, we have a leading product in 9mm. We have the leading product in 45. We'll have the top 2 leading products in 22. It'll give us the revenue that we need to accelerate our development, and we'll have like a knowledge of rifle silencers to springboard us into that. And even with all that knowledge that SWR brought to the table, it took us 2 years to introduce the Saker. And but it was the same thing. It was all of these features that nobody had ever seen before, and it was so exciting to us. And then, took that one step further with the shotgun silencer this year, the Salvo. So it's just, one thing after the next is things that people have always wanted to do but have never been able to do. We've been able to do.
Right. So what's been your biggest challenge from 2008 to now? You mentioned a little bit about you've almost been a victim of your own success, that you raise the bar so high that sometimes you forget you've got to jump over that bar the next time as well. Is that been your biggest challenge, or is there anything else that's been put in front of you that you guys have had to struggle with?
Yeah, we've had a lot of struggles with, finding capital has been really hard, especially through the hard economic times, 2009, 10, 11. And the banks were just sitting on their hands. They didn't want to do anything. They were afraid to do anything unless you had like an extremely high amount of cash flow. And even with us barely being in the positive, like in the black, barely. I mean, we're talking just pennies. We were still able to get some banks to believe in us, but the interest rates were miserable and the covenants on the loans were miserable. And so that type of growth was really hard for us, because we had to, we did hard money loans. We did all of this stuff that, like, we're talking like 19% interest rates, and it was just really, really brutal. But we knew that we had to feed the beast when it came to our demand. And, but, we had to do it in a way that's not going to, basically we were banking on our product, maintaining the levels of sales that we've been seeing. And that's a leap of faith, because you never know. Like, all right, we fill the channel up, and then people stop buying because the dealers bought everything we had, and the people don't really want it. It takes a year before we even find that out because of the tax stamp weight and all this kind of stuff. It was just really difficult to manage that cash flow. So the banks, that was a really difficult thing. It was the banks. And, we got turned down by banks just because we were a gun company as well. Right. Several banks. And, I think that in 2011, I got turned down by 32 banks.
Wow.
So it was like my whole job was basically managing these stupid banks. And these processes are hard. You have to put these huge financial packages together and get all of these audits and all of this appraisals and all of these things to make sure everything was, was good. And then at the last minute, they'd pull the plug on it or whatever. And it was really difficult. So besides that, the ATF has always been a challenge. They don't, their systems are so bad, and that we haven't been able to really understand until recently how to deal with them. And so that's probably another very large hurdle that we've been able to overcome is we've been able to develop relationships with the NFA branch to where we have more transparency, and we're able to somewhat forecast when we're going to get forms back and when we're going to be able to ship product, because it was just a total crapshoot before. And it's a really hard thing to do to manage that organization, because they just don't have the electronic systems in place that they need. They don't have the staff that they need. And they're inundated by the growth of the industry as a whole. Right.
So that adds an added level of stress to your life, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll shift focus a little bit here and ask you, where the heck does your marketing team gets all of its energy? I've seen some really great videos lately coming out from you guys, and I have to think that they have to be nearly bankrupting you on your ammo budget every month.
Their budget is huge, and my partner and I decided about 2 years ago that we wanted to put more emphasis on marketing and more emphasis on research and development. So our two biggest budgets in our company are those two departments. And the reason why is we want to be able to be the most innovative company, but we need to make sure that we can mainstream it, because there's no sense in having the same type of budget that a $1 billion company does, but not have a $1 billion industry. And so that was the idea, the premise. And so I started looking for people that were outside of the gun industry to bring on board that knew more about mainstream marketing. And I found Mike Allen, who is my vice president of marketing, and he was the director of marketing for DC Shoes in California. And as you know, they went from a rather obscure skateboard brand into one of the leading extreme sport brands in the world. And Mike was largely the guy that did that. And so I wanted to pick that guy up, because it's like, all right, this guy was able to do it with a shoe company, and silencers are way cooler than shoes, so let's do this. And so I recruited him, and he's been recruiting other people that are, extremely high-end, very talented people to build up that department. We have, I think, 8 people in that department right now, and all of them are just so talented. The budgets are out of this world, and their ideas are, I have to hold them back sometimes, but not, I just let them run with it, and they've been just amazing. So.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough at SHOT Show this year to spend about 20 minutes talking with Mike there in the booth, and it was quite an experience. And he's definitely got a unique background that sounds like he's bringing a lot of great things to the company. Yeah,
he has. Different perspective too. It's like another perspective that is outside the gun industry that we can add to our repertoire of perspectives, I guess. So.
Right. Well, let's shift focus again to your most recent innovation with the Salvo 12. It's been described as the first commercially viable shotgun suppressor. How long have you guys been working on that? I mean, is that something that has taken several years of research and development, or is there a paper napkin somewhere with the harebrained idea written on it that you guys are keeping for your museum one day?
Well, there was definitely no paper napkin on that product, but there was on the Sparrow and the some of the other ideas that we've had. But this was this is an interesting deal, because we started talking about it, a little over a year ago, and we started buying up shotguns because, we weren't really shotgun people, and we needed to get into that mindset. So we started buying up shotguns, and we started going duck hunting, and we started doing all of the stuff that most hunters already do, and because we were more tactical guys, and to start to try to feel the essence of what we needed to do, what kind of product that we needed to produce. And that started about a year and a half ago, and then we started research and development shortly after that on a small scale, just little ideas here, little ideas there. And it really started to accelerate after SHOT Show this year. We knew that we needed to bring something amazing to the table, and kind of got a little disillusioned by the whole shot show thing, being that you're trying to release products in a sea of other people releasing products, and it's hard to kind of stand out in a way. So we thought, you know what, we should do a summer release, and we should do something earth-shattering, and we should do that every year. And so that's why we started to work really hard on the shotgun silencer, because we knew that that was what we needed to release at the Catalina Wine Mixer, which is our summer event. And it was kind of an all-hands, all 7 or 8 people in the R&D department were working 16-hour days for several months to get that. And, you know, we have this, we give these guys a lot of responsibility, and we expect a lot from them. And if they can't come to the table with a good attitude, then they just don't make it. And one of our guys that worked in R&D, who was one of our lead guys in R&D, he came to us in April and said, this just can't be done. It's not going to ever be quiet without being just obnoxiously big, and we can't figure out how to keep the wads from getting shredded like a cheese grater in the silencer, and it just can't be done. And we fired that guy, and basically put even more effort into proving him wrong and also being able to release this product. I was just like, no, don't ever say no. So, you know, our guys in R&D know that they should never say no ever again. So we put a lot of pressure on our guys, and there was, you know, the 4 or 5 weeks prior to the Catalina Wine Mixer when we released this, many of them went home, and you know, they would pull all-nighters, they would sleep on cots, they would stay right by their machines, they would push really hard, and we ended up making an amazing product. So amazing, in fact, that like at the Catalina Wine Mixer, 2 days of heavy shooting, just people being pushed through these lines of shooting the same silencer over and over and over and over again for 2 days straight. We had no malfunctions. And, you know, for the first article prototype, basically, to have 0 malfunctions was just mind blowing, because that's never happened for us. I mean, you know, the law of demonstration says that if you have a good product that you're releasing and you show it to someone, that's going to break, and that's happened to us several times. And this product was just so rock solid, and we were so excited. And then, you know, we went, as soon as the show got over, it was all hands on deck again for actually still to today, because we're shipping our first batch out in September, and you know, we needed to now make it producible and production ready. So, you know, now it's all hands on deck, getting the machines to be efficient, and, you know, all of those little steps involved in actually producing something on a mass production scale. And we've got 1,000 going out this month, so we're really excited about that, because also in the gun industry, as you know, there's not a lot of releases that happen and then a couple months later it actually ships.
Right.
So we're very excited, and that's kind of a new standard that we're going to hold ourselves to. If we ever release anything, it's going to be either already available at the wholesalers, because the wholesalers knew about it before anybody else, and we're going to ship it that day, or it's going to be like a couple of weeks away from when we launch the product, because we want to change the way that this industry works as a whole, to where people aren't waiting for innovative stuff.
Yeah, you know, it seems all too often that companies talk about what they want to do or what they're going to do, and it just turns into vaporware that's available in 3 to 5 years down the road, if ever. And sometimes when it is released, it just doesn't work. But it sounds like you guys have pushed the limits, and maybe not even found the limits of the Salvo 12 yet. So that's good to hear. And just go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, yeah, we're just blessed and blown away by what we've been able to accomplish. So I guess publicly want to thank my R&D team for the unbelievable amount of work that they put into it, and the loyalty. It's been amazing. That's
good, and I'm sure they definitely appreciate that. You know, I wouldn't wish the curse of reality television on anybody, but it sounds like the development of the Salvo 12 could have been its own highly rated reality television show with everything that sounded like it was going on.
Yeah, good. There was a lot of drama, and there were times where we thought that we were going to have to fold and go back to the drawing board or release a different product, and it was it was a scary deal because a lot of these things that we did, like the event, the venue that we held the Catalina wine mixer, it was $100,000 non-refundable, and I had to make that. It's a high-profile place, and I had to make that. I had to book that place a couple months in advance before we even had a product that was ready, and that was scary.
I'm sure it is, absolutely. And it sounds like I'm a believer in karma here, but you guys don't really, as a company, it doesn't seem like you focus on what's good for Silencerco by itself. You guys have done a couple of things. Between your Mad Mount and your participation or formation of the American Suppressor Association, that you like to help or push the industry, that specific market segment in the industry as a whole. So can we talk a little bit about that Mad Mount and what went behind the company's mentality on why you would make adapters for a competitor's product? And then the big push of the industry behind the ASA.
So the Mad Mount, we know that flash hiders are really expensive, and there's a lot of guys because we know this because we have a lot of guys that have a lot of guns that work here, and they get married to a single flash hider, like let's say the 51 tooth advanced armament break or a flash hider, and they spend 100 and change on those devices, and they put them on 10 or 15 guns. You're talking about well over $1,000 as investment into their firearms, and we didn't want to bring out this new silencer that we knew everybody was going to want because it was so durable, so quiet, had so many features, and then watch everybody spend a ton of money. Even though it would have been money well spent for our company, we felt like that was we could help people. I mean, they can spend the money and change all their flash hiders and put the trifecta on it. I mean, the trifecta is the break and the flash hider are both industry leaders. I mean, they're amazing. They perform amazing, but we wanted to allow people to save some money, and we felt like, and there's a self-serving part of that as well. If we had the ability to do that, people would be more likely to buy our silencer because they wouldn't have to spend all that money. So it's kind of a two-pronged approach, but it's been really a good deal for people. People have been very grateful for that, and but we're starting to see now a lot of those same people that replaced or that basically put our suppressor on their mount, on the a competitor's mount. They're starting to now change those to the trifecta stuff because they're such loyalists. So it was a good thing for us.
Good.
The American Suppressor Association, from day one, we knew that we needed to expand the market, and I kind of touched on that. And what better way to do that than to have an organization where we can educate together. So that was one of the reasons that I formed the ASA. But the other reason was that I'd go and talk to politicians, and they wouldn't really listen to you or to me because I was representing a company, a singular company, and that's not a real. They don't really like that kind of stuff because the politicians that actually try to be transparent, they don't want to have people see that there's serving one particular company. It just doesn't look good.
Right.
So I wanted to develop an organization, and at the same time, AAC, the people over there were wanting to do the same thing. So we kind of joined forces and started to talk about what we could do as an organization. And a lot of turbulence over at AAC happened, and basically they helped form the entity, but then they kind of fell by the wayside for a while. They're obviously now very involved in the ASA, but there was a lot of time that it was just Silencerco. pushing really hard and using this ASA as a organization, speaking for everybody, but really had no other funds coming from anybody else. So we did that for quite a while. Daniel Defense jumped on, thankfully, in 2013 pretty heavily. And so then it was a Silencerco Daniel Defense show. Even though people thought it was just the ASA, that was the only two companies that were really pushing money in. And then the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, we got a lot of support from a lot of people. AAC came back into play with Remington. Even the smaller suppressor companies, Liberty Suppressors and Thunder Beast, and some of these guys have been putting in a lot of money. And it's been such a great thing because we're starting to really gain momentum. We have like an 85% win rate on our bills that we introduce, and we work together with the NRA, and the NRA has been just extremely crucial to our success. I mean, they've been there, opening doors for us, lobbying for us, and working directly with the ASA. So it's been just a fantastic organization. And Knox Williams, the president, is a very sharp guy, and he works really hard, and people love him. And that's been really good. It's been really helpful that politicians like this guy, because I'm not a very likable person, so so I couldn't do it. So.
Well, that's good to see that some good quality companies stand behind it. With you guys forming it, Daniel Defense, we've talked with Marty Daniel over there a few times, and he seems to be a great stand-up guy. Just a good down-to-earth fellow, and it's good to see that his company's putting a big push behind it as well.
Yeah, they are. It's a great company, and it's a great guy for sure.
Mm-hmm. So let's do a quick rundown of your line of suppressors that you have. You guys handle from the smallest of calibers to the largest of calibers. It looks like you guys have three rimfire suppressors, two centerfire suppressors as far as pistol-sized cartridges, and then 4 rifle suppressors, one of which handles some of the largest of calibers out there. Mm-hmm. So the Saker seems to be one of the most popular suppressors out there, at least from what I can tell, and maybe that's just through my own personal research, because I've got one on order through you guys, and I'm hoping that will come through sometime soon. But what else? I mean, you guys have the small, like I said, the smallest of calibers to the largest of calibers. I'm just not sure that I see where else you guys could go with something extremely innovative that the market has never seen before. But you guys seem to surprise people all the time with that. What might be in the works for you guys?
I'd love to talk about what we're doing, but let's just say that what we are releasing at the Catalina Wine Mixer next summer is just as industry disruptive as the Salvo, if not more. So we're really excited about that product, and we're actually, if there's any listeners that engineers that are looking for a job at a awesome gun company, we're looking for more people, because we got a long ways to go on this product, and we're going to make our mark on this. So we just need more people, and to definitely look us up and send us your resumes. But yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming down the pike, and I wish I could talk about it, but I can't tip my cards to that. So. All right. But yeah, but we've got our line of suppressors, like you said, we've got 3 rimfire suppressors. They're each of our products have a unique feature set for every application that people are looking for. So if someone wants a really light silencer, they go with the for 22. Long rifle, they go with the Warlock, because it's 3 ounces. Then we have the longer, heavier duty ones for rifle cartridges, like the FN 57x28 or the 17 HMR 22 Win Mag. The Spectre is remarkable for that, and then the Sparrow is like the good all around, does everything really good, and that's why it's the top tier, highest priced the three. Short, light, durable, the whole bit. So then, we have in our centerfire pistols, the Osprey and the Octane. And the Octane is the subgun, multi-use type of product that's full auto rated and disassemblable for, heavy fire, whereas the Osprey is like a pistol only, really quiet product. So, people can choose which one that they want depending on what kind of shooter they are. And then the rifle line, we have the Spec War, which is the kind of the duty rifle can that we've kind of developed for law enforcement, military, because it's just really robust and but it has, it's kind of broken down, doesn't have a lot of features, and so it can fit the budgets of a lot of the police departments and stuff out there. And then we've got the Sager, which is the high speed, lots of features, really durable, really quiet, really, it's just awesome. So, different uses for different products. And the Harvester is kind of our first segue into the hunting, and I think you've seen with our marketing that we've been pushing into the hunting, and that's really where we can mainstream these devices, is by getting it into the hunting world. And so we developed the extremely lightweight, multi-caliber use Harvester line, the Harvester and the Harvester Big Bore. Harvester can be used on anything from 300 Win Mag and smaller, and then the Harvester Big Bore is 338 Lapua, smaller. So, very light. The Harvester is 11 ounces. You can barely feel it on a gun, and that's important because a lot of these hunting guns are only 3 to 5 pound, 6 pound gun. You put the optic on there a little heavier, but you don't want a 1.5 pound silencer on the end of a really light gun. It just doesn't feel right, and it's really hard to shoot from standing up long distances. So we developed that product. It has the best recoil reduction of any product that you can put on a muzzle, and it's hearing safe for everything from 300 Win Mag smaller. So it's just the perfect product for a hunter. And you put it on every kind of gun with every kind of threads, because you can change the thread adapters for the direct thread. So It's a good product, really good product. And then obviously the Salvo.
Now something we haven't talked about that I think builds a lot of confidence in consumers when they've got a multitude of options for the most part out there of suppressors for the various calibers firearms. But I think something that builds a lot of confidence is your lifetime warranty. And my understanding is that even covers stupid once, correct?
That is correct. We have guys that accidentally put a 9mm silencer on a 45, and we'll still replace that for them for no cost. So, we have people do really insanely stupid with their stuff, and and they're able to get that warranted. And it is a lifetime warranty, truly. And we have 48-hour turnaround. If not 24 hours, then it's 48. So it's we, like I said, at the very beginning of our company, we wanted the best customer service that you can possibly get in any industry, and we really pride ourselves on that.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Recently I made the decision to go ahead and purchase a couple of suppressors, actually, and I looked around and spoke with all the contacts that we have here at the network and the industry, and just researching everything, I decided that Silencerco was the way to go. At the end of the day, a lifetime warranty means a lot. I think there is a lot of money spent on marketing. Some companies, that marketing is empty, but I think at Silencerco, the marketing really shows how much effort you guys put into developing what you do. So I know when it gets here, I'm sure I'll be nothing but happy about it. So.
Well, if you're not, well, they would definitely take care of you. So,
so where can our listeners go to find out more about Silencerco, about what you guys offer, and if especially those listeners, I do know we have some geeks out there that are some engineers, because I've spoken with them before. So where can they go for more information, and who can they contact should they want to move to Utah and decide to work for a really cool suppressor company? Yeah,
so silencerco.com is our website. I think that you can send resumes to careers@silencerco.com. So yeah, but we're looking for high-profile people, and we're willing to pay to get people to relocate, signing bonuses, those kinds of things, to make it a smooth transition for people. So careers@silencerco.com, or you can send it to the sales or info@silencerco.com too, if you don't get anywhere with that. But we're really good with returning emails, so definitely, if you're listening to this, please, we're looking for good people. So that's one of the hardest things to find. It's kind of weird that it's hard to find good people, being that the economy sucks so bad. But it is. It's a challenge.
Yeah, they say people, process, and product. That's what it's all about these days. So
yeah.
So I'll just kind of open it up. Is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you want to get across to our listeners today?
No, I think that if everybody can just create a mindset, a philosophy or psychology, if you will, that guns don't have to be loud. If everybody thinks that way, then we can change the world with these products. That's probably all I can say.
Good. Well, thanks for your time.
I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Having me on.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
Thanks, Joshua.
Awesome interview. Again, big shout out to Steve and Joshua. Thank you guys so much. Great main topic for this week's show. And you may be into suppressors, and you may also be into comfortable men's workwear, like Duluth Trading Company offers, such as their Blueprint Technology Better Work Socks. So you're probably like me, and you go through socks like crazy, but Duluth Trading Company has you covered. They have all kinds of, actually not just the Blueprint technology, but all kinds of compression socks, over the calf socks, crew socks, any kind of socks, merino, fast dry merino wool crew socks, lightweight performance quarter socks. Take your pick. They have the sock that will perform and keep your feet dry and comfortable all day long. So gunguyradio.com/Duluth, or check out the Duluth banner on gunguyradio.com. Well, and also I'd like to thank everyone that's been supporting Gun Guy Radio and the Firearms Radio Network through our Patreon campaigns. And Patreon's just an easy way for you to contribute maybe $1 per episode, just to show your support. And anyone pledging $1 per episode gets a pretty awesome Gun Guy Radio sticker and Firearms Radio Network sticker. And it's just your way to, show your support, to keep these shows coming, and to help us build the network and the shows to the vision that we have for them in the future of this on-demand media. And I'm pretty excited. I just got word that we have some other cool stuff coming for the patrons that pledge at the $15, the masterclass level. So this is a full battle box, not bottle, battle box full of swag that we send out every 3 months. Just got word that this is actually a product that Duluth Trading Company also carries, but it's the big ass bars of soap. That's right. It's the Duke Soap Company, Duke Cannon. It's the only soap company that supports the Second Amendment. So, very cool product made in the USA, manufactured in Memphis, Tennessee, actually. And they're big, heavy-duty bars of soap. And they actually have a lot of different styles and stuff, but some of those are going to be thrown into these battle boxes for these awesome patrons that are supporting Gun Guy Radio at the $15 level every episode. So really thank you guys. And check out the Duke Cannon big ass bars of soap at Duluth Trading Company as well. And the URL for Patreon is patreon.com/gun. We'll get you to Gun Guy Radio, or patreon.com/week. We'll get you to This Week in Guns. And big thank you for everyone contributing. And please consider just $1 per episode. That's less than you spend on coffee, or spend on $1 an episode. That's $4 a month. So I don't know. I spend way more than $4 a month on a lot of things that are don't satisfy me, like the podcasts I listen to. I listen to a lot of great podcasts, and I give to the ones that have a Patreon campaign, because I value what they offer. So if you value this podcast, I would be honored if you consider giving $1 per episode. And Ryan Cross, Hunter of Design. If you're looking for awesome website design or logo design, go to hunterofdesign.com. Well, that about wraps up the show for this week. So you can leave your feedback and thoughts at the bottom of the show notes at gunguyradio.com/135. And also remember to leave us an iTunes review. It helps other people find the show. Join the NRA and the Second Amendment Foundation. These organizations both fight for our rights and do things that we as individuals just can't accomplish alone. Don't forget to shop our affiliate links as well. If Patreon is just not for you, maybe consider shopping Brownells or Amazon through our affiliate links as well. So just look for those banners on gunguyradio.com and click through before your next shopping trip. And don't forget to check out all the other awesome shows on the Firearms Radio Network, like the Off-Road Podcast, which is, I just can't get enough off-road podcasts. So check it out, offroadpodcast.com, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv. Do you have a truck problem, or maybe a Jeep problem? Is driving through the mud or climbing on top of rocks all you think about? Well, do we have the antidote for you? The Off-Road Podcast, brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network, is your source for all things off-road. Whether you're swapping axles or just mounting a winch, check out the Off-Road Podcast at offroadpodcast.com.